think it's really important. I just want to come back to something that we started the conference with yesterday. And we said at the beginning we wanted to achieve three things, or we wanted to look at three things. And that was, we wanted to reflect on where we've come from, we want to celebrate the successes and what we've achieved as an industry, and plan for the future. And I think hearing our expert speakers and our panelists and just being engaged with many of the discussions with yourselves during the breaks, I do really get the sense that we're doing that. That last session there is really important, because we are planning for a new segment that's going to be increasingly important in our industry, and one that does take a lot of planning, as we heard with the questions. This morning we looked at asset management and the increasing options for financial asset management to ensure that outcomes are maximised, whether that is a yield outcome or a return outcome. And as this market is maturing, as an industry, as we are maturing, we're becoming more and more engaged with much more senior stakeholders in the energy mix and the finance world. And the demands they have on us as an industry to deliver the end product that generates the energy are increasing. So we have to adapt, we have to grow, we have to get more professional. And that was a recurring theme through many of the presentations today, looking at how we can achieve that. I also learned that, well, certainly from this morning's presentation, that sheep are the answer, we heard. Yesterday it was bees, so I think we've transitioned from an iconic bee mascot for the solar industry to perhaps a sheep mascot today. Lightsource going to go into wool production because sheep is so good under panels as an asset, a solution to keep the grass down. So it's really incredible that what we're seeing here is kind of a byproduct of capitalism in a way. Money will find its way, but also you'll find innovation come out as we're faced with issues, as we develop projects, and as the sector matures. I was particularly excited, well, not excited, but we all knew this, but it was great for someone to actually get up and say that, and this was Abid in the second session, you know, when returns are high, you can afford to make mistakes. I think Jonathan was quite refreshingly honest with us as a developer to talk to us about some of the mistakes that Lark may have made, which was shared by many developers, and obviously Abid as an acquirer of parks has seen lots of these mistakes for the last 4 years. But it's really important now, again, that core message, the market's maturing, the returns are dropping, therefore mistakes have to start to be eliminated as we mature. And that's going to keep everyone's costs down and increase everybody's security. Then we looked at CFDs and ROCs. Again, fascinating to hear that detailed information about CFDs and ROCs. Will CFDs come in and really help the solar industry to grow? Perhaps they might, if it's priced correctly. That's what we heard today. And it was very interesting to see that if you're willing to trade some of the short-term security embedded in ROCs, you can potentially have upside under the CFD scheme. So thank you to Lars and NEAS Energy for sharing that with us. Again, another point which just reinforces that underlying theme of maturity in the sector. And that big question that Alan Johns left us with, how are you going to price your CFD bid? And that's going to be critical. What I certainly learned later on was that the fact that as a developer, if you're going to go in that first round, and there's no reason you shouldn't, because it doesn't keep you out of ROCs, you've got to be ready for October this year. Everyone's thinking of 2017, but you need to start to get all those processes in order. This is not an overnight process or a switch, and we've got to get ready. And then we started to learn more about the grid. Now, I know sometimes electrical presentations, technical presentations can be quite dry, but I really have to thank Andy in particular, and also, Western Power. Everyone's dealt with Western Power, seemingly, in the industry. We heard from Jonathan how fantastic they were with some of their early projects, and to hear them investing $6 billion into projects that could help, whether it's adapting to active power management to help us get more connections in the current locations where we know we can get planning, where we know we need to put energy to the grid, is absolutely fantastic. It was slightly startling to hear the lack of visibility they have at the medium and low voltage network level, which probably explains a lot of the frustration some developers have when they're going to the DNOs and can't quite understand why they can't be connecting to those 11 kV power lines that they've got going across their sites. And finally, I mentioned it already, but I do want to mention it again because it's so important. You know, Jonathan sharing with us so brazenly your experiences. We can all really take a lot of learning from that, and we can all reflect on where we've come from, particularly as developers in the room. And actually, there was a comment, it wasn't from Jonathan, but it mirrored what he was saying. Someone said it on Tuesday night to me, and they said, if we were in wartime in the first quarter this year, the developers and the DNOs who were out in the mud, in 1.2 metre mud, trying to lay cables, would have been given medals. And I think that's really important. As an industry, we acknowledge the incredible efforts, not just the people in this room, but all the people out there who are out in the fields, digging the trenches, literally, to give us a more secure, cleaner, cost-effective energy future. And that's what I'd like to leave you with. I'd like to leave you with, hopefully, the knowledge that you've gained something over these 2 days, talking to your colleagues, speaking with people who have been there, they've done it, talking to the new entrants into our sector, some very mature companies who are here to help develop, not hinder development. And I hope you go away positive in the knowledge. Don't forget, look, I'm aware of the elephant in the room, the rumours, everything going on, but we've been through this before. At the end of the day, what we're doing is necessary, it's required, and regardless of what happens with policy or tariffs, we're moving towards an energy market that is waiting for more power on the grid. And that's the bottom line. So no matter when it happens, it's going to happen. And it's the people in this room over the last couple of days who are making it happen in the UK. So thank you all for coming. Thank you to our sponsors who made this possible. And if you could join me in thanking all of our speakers and sponsors one last time before you go. Thank you very much.